Well, hey there, folks. Today we're talking about Kodama Forest. This is a fairly straightforward tile placement game on the board here. And so if you haven't played other kind of tile placement games like this would be an excellent one to start on. So let's go ahead and give you a few more details. Let's go ahead and dive on into it. So in this game, let's walk through contents real quick. It is a decent sized box. It maybe could have been a little bit smaller, which I appreciate, not making the boxes big just because you can, making it look like a more valuable game, but making it fit into as compact a size as you can for travel. That's just my preference. I know that makers do different things for different reasons. I'm not against it. I just like them to be smaller if they can, and I think this one probably could have. So you have the rules right here, pretty dang straightforward. There's just a few pages, and there's not really even all that big a text or anything on them. So very simple game. You've got a bunch of these little mats right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it looks like you have 9 of them, and they are double-sided as well. So something that's kind of unique and fun about this game that you may or may not enjoy depending on your personality, I think this is pretty fun, is this mat. You take one of these and you put them in between each person. So this one I would have in between myself and person B over here, and then I'd have another one right here in between myself and person A. Did I say that right? A, B. So however many people you're playing with, you put one of these boards in between each of them. That's the basic point of what you're doing. And I pulled out a few tiles just to be able to show you some things that are pretty unique, but you're trying to cover as many of these points as possible. These little blue squares, you want to leave those open. You can't cover those at any point in time, but you're trying to cover everything else as quickly as you can. And so on every round, every turn, you, in this bag, quickly, so that you're not cheating, you grab 2 of these. So you grab 2 of them randomly, and then you put 1 on the board to your left and 1 on the board to your right. And you can put them anywhere. So this one, hey, this would be a good spot for it. You're wanting to cover up the bigger points as well, because when one board out here is completed, then that round ends or the game ends. I don't know if you play a number of rounds or not. Depends on the gameplay, I think. Another thing I do like about this is that there is a solo mode, and then there's 2 duo modes where you can play cooperatively, which I think is really neat to have that, or you can play a competitive 2-player game. So I think that's really neat. There's a good amount of variety in that. I really like it. But once one of these boards is complete, so I'd put one on the board to my left, one on the board to my right. So I'd put one to my left here, and then this person over here would put one on the same board. So we're working together to complete this as fast as we can. So we can strategize here, do the best we can over here. We're strategizing here, trying to do the best we can with the other pieces. So really unique kind of game style piece where you really are kind of the part of 2 teams. But if you're playing in a 4-player game, you're not playing with that person. You don't really know what's going on over there. So very, very interesting, and I love that. So if that was the game by itself, I think it would be decent but not great. What I think makes this game much more interesting is that there are different special things within some of these pieces. So if you grab 2 of these pieces, let's say I had these two, and I was able to complete this flower. You can see that flower right there. If this was out on the board here and I completed that flower, then I would get to take a butterfly and put it anywhere for free, which is really, really cool, and that could be very, very helpful. The second one here is there's a lake, so you can see this blue lake right here. If you cover that, you make a complete lake right there. You get to take one of these. It's a frog right there, and it's a 2-piece, and you can put that anywhere on the board that you like. And then the last one is this bamboo forest. So if you complete a bamboo forest anywhere on the board, then you get to take Panda, which is a 2x2, so that's a nice big space to be able to toss anywhere on the board for free. If at any point in time you're getting down to where you don't have a lot of pieces, or you have a single that you just want to cover up, you can decide not to take any pieces and instead take one of these. I think it might be one. You could take one from the bag and then one of these, or you could take two of these instead. So you will eventually be able to cover up these boards, especially when you're playing two people to one side of the board. So really, really unique, I think, in that aspect of you kind of being on two different teams, and really, really interesting. I love that aspect of being able to work together, that kind of a thing. So overall, that is really basically how the game goes. The boards aren't much different. They're just placed in different locations, so it's pretty much the same thing on all of those boards. So that's really not all that different. You want to make sure that you're all playing with the same board. So this one says beginner. You'd want to play with that one, everyone, so it's even. Or if there's someone that's really good at it, maybe they don't get the beginner board or something like that. So overall, that is a touch and a taste of this game. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of what this game is, what it does, and why it may or may not be right for you. Thanks.